Executive brief. Executive brief.
My good people of Abia State, it is my honor and pleasure to address
From the seat of governance in Abia, God's own state, comes a compendium of the governor's weekly engagement in the service to humanity and God.
This government is in its second and final tenure, and therefore we are in a hurry to gain traction and achieve what our mandate the people have given to us and defined for us as assignment.
Join the Chief Press Secretary to Abia State Governor Onyebuchi Imemanka on FLO 94.9 FM as he tracks Governor Okezie Ikpeazu's activities in delivering on the social contract with the good people of Abia State.
We have received awards and acknowledgement as the SME capital of Nigeria in recent times.
Executive Brief.
Every Friday at 9:30 a.m.
on FLO 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. Executive Brief from the horse's mouth.
There is now a deliberate effort to ensure that our infrastructure is solid and durable.
Well, you do not need to fret nor worry because all things will be all right. That's what a singer is encouraging us with this morning. Well, this week has been fraught with a lot of happenings in the state of Abia. Predominantly and more prominently is the closure of a market in Aba, which was occasioned by a fire outbreak, and then there was a mob situation in Aba. The governor had to take decisive actions. We did see constitution of various panels of investigation also in the state, and of course this week the state also experienced the state's Congress of the People's Democratic Party. This is the executive brief, and on the program we'll get to look at the itinerary and activities of the executive governor of Abia State, talking about none other than Dr. Okezie Victor Ikpeazu, PhD. This program is brought to you courtesy of the Office of the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, and is a simulcast on FLO 94.9 FM Umuahia and also Real 99.1 FM Aba. My name is Temple Bara, and in the studio with me this morning is none other than the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Abia State, talking about Barrister Onyebuchi Imemanka. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Temple Bara. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Okay, so let's start off with the heartbreaking story, which is the fire outbreak. Well, let me come from this angle. Certain pictures and videos have surfaced online as regards reportage of various media platforms as to the cost of goods that were lost in that inferno. Well, the state government on this part has come out to disprove that it was a minor incident, and of course gone on to also take pictures, in the same vein. Can you tell Abians about that fire incident in Umuahia market?
Thank you. I think the fire incident is being needlessly exaggerated.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But the closure of the market then?
I come from a village called Umuule.
Okay.
And Umuule and Umuahia share common boundaries. We are brothers. So this thing actually happened in my place. It's not as serious as people would want to make it look. But a fire incident is a fire incident. It started, in some areas of the market, there are people who do businesses of charging phones and other things. So it was from one of those places that the fire started. And some things were destroyed. It was a fire incident. But it is not as bad as people are painting it to be. And that is why the Commissioner of Information, Chief John Okikalo, released a statement to clear the air, and give a clearer picture of what, people are naturally interested in bad news. People simply want to hear bad things.
Okay.
And whether the fire incident is small or was small or big, is a fire incident and a very unfortunate incident.
So if it were needless, is there a need then to set up a committee?
Yeah, the committee was set up to achieve two things. to find out the remote causes of the fire. Of course, government needs to be advised on what to do next, but of course to also advise government on what to do going forward in respect of or in response to the needless and reckless mischief showed by some people around that market who decided to take the laws into their hands and destroy government property by way of a fire truck that came to help put out the fire under the pretext or under the claim that the truck came late. And one wonders why any person who is in his right senses would destroy government property. The market is government property. A fire incident has just taken place, and while efforts are being made to put out the fire, government sends a vehicle, a fire truck bought with taxpayers' money belonging to the people, and some people decided to inflict what I call double jeopardy on the people of Abia State by destroying a government property fire truck. So people think that the fire truck belongs to Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu. That is not true. That fire truck is public property. It belongs to all of us. So by destroying it, you set the rest of us, all the citizens of Abia State, back somehow. And it is very unfortunate because the area Ume Hilebu industrial market is one market that has attracted the personal interest and attention of Governor Okezi Ikpeazu. Ask anybody who lives in Aba whether 5 years ago, 6 years ago, backwards, whether it was possible by any means to access that market, to walk into that market, to drive into that market to do business. Governor Ikpeazu constructed the long abandoned Samek Road. Samek Road was a road done by the Mbakwe regime. It is called Samek because Samek was the name of the construction company that did it those days.
Okay.
From that time till today, until Ikpeazu came, nobody, no government, military or civilian, remember that market.
So the market is indefinitely closed now.
The government needed to take action. People cannot continue to dare the government. You cannot do that.
So is this closure a permanent fix?
Well, it is the decision of the governor, and
solely his prerogative.
Yes, of course it is. The governor has a responsibility, a constitutional responsibility to protect lives and property. People cannot wake up and begin to recklessly and mindlessly destroy government property. It is not allowed. It is an attempt to dare the government, and there shall be consequences, I assure you. The governor is not happy about it. If there is any market in Abia State, in Aba, that has received the attention of Governor Okezi Ikpeazu, it is the area Ume Hilebu industrial shoe market. Governor Okezi Ikpeazu has personally become their number one marketer. He has built roads from Abai today, from Abai by MCC Junction. It will take you less than 2-3 minutes to drive to that market. From Fox Road, you can access that market. From Tony Mas, you can access that market. From Umule, you can access that market. It has never happened before in the history of this state. And these traders forgot all of this and decided to set a fire truck ablaze.
But some sections of social media have had it that that's not the traders who actually destroyed.
Well, we don't know. If it is
not possible, because there were videos that
let them produce those that destroyed those things. They have to produce them.
There were videos and pictures of the destruction.
Absolutely, it is within the vicinity and jurisdiction of. They have market unions.
But if the chairman of the market has been suspended,
if they say they are not the ones that set that fire truck ablaze, they must provide those who did it. And I want to tell you that the governor of Abia State is personally aggrieved, deeply infuriated at this mindless show of recklessness and destruction of public property, and I assure you there shall be consequences.
Okay, let's move on. There's also issues which attention of the governor has been drawn to, which is the issue of inner galaxy scale. Stories surfaced on social media again, that some Abians who work there are treated as slaves, and even the females were molested in some ways, and when they get to react or complain, security men are unleashed the company owned by a run by some Chinese people. I really don't have all the details, and it's a bit sketchy. But suddenly, a committee was set up to investigate this. So, do you have the details? And can you furnish in the Abia?
The government of Abia State, under the very able leadership of Governor Okezi Ikpeazu, has a responsibility to protect the people of Abia State, protect lives, protect the well-being of our people. Now, when you need to understand that this story surfaced online, and we are online, and we saw this story, and we decided to inform the appropriate authorities of government. And when Governor Okezi Ikpeazu, I personally brought this into his attention, and which is of course part of my job, and I am sure the Commissioner for Information and other relevant government officials also did the same. It is the proper thing. If issues concerning our people are raised anywhere, and there seems to be some credibility in the information, we have a responsibility.
So is there any form of credibility?
I'm coming. When the news broke, the first thing to do is to confirm, because if you are in government, you find out that a lot of information are unleashed, out there, and if you're not careful, if you allow social media responses and news to a few weeks ago, within this week, some trainee blogger went to the social media to say that Governor Okezi Ikpeazu made certain statements about one Nnamdi Kanu and all that.
I was about coming to
when that never happened, but that's not what I'm talking about now.
Okay.
So when these things happen, you have a responsibility to investigate. So the governor dispatched a team of government officials led by the member represent, because the company is in Okwa.
Okay.
The Chinese company is in Okwa, led by the.
What does that Chinese company do?
They collect metal scraps.
Oh, really?
And recycle them into so many things.
So we do have that in Abia State.
Yes, we do, and we need to be careful here. We need to be careful. That is why.
Why do you say so?
We need to be careful because
foreign investment.
Absolutely. Why the government of Abia State, and indeed Governor Okezi Ikpeazu, will not allow any company to turn Abia citizens into slaves, to run a slave camp in Abia State.
Okay.
We also need to balance and be careful with the information we put out there to be sure that these things are true, because I know that this company has been working in Abia State. They employ people, they pay tax to government. That is not a reason why they should run a slave camp. No government will allow that. That is why the government sent a high-powered delegation led by Honorable Godi, the member representative of the people of Okwa West, Godi Adiele, okay. Honorable Godwin Adiele, the Director General of the Abia State Marketing Agency, Barrister Sam Hart, and some other people were dispatched immediately by the governor to go there and see things for themselves.
Well, a certain blogger on social media is of the opinion that the absence of a journalist is not very palatable. That
the government does not owe anybody explanation as per how they do their things. The important thing is that when this news broke, the governor responded. Okay, and sent people to that place, officials of government. Now, upon their return, the governor saw a need for a full-scale investigation into the allegations. Okay, so what the governor did initially was an immediate response,
like a first aid.
Yes, like a first aid response, to go and check, go and find out if these things we read, these things we see on social media are true. Now, when they came back, there was the governor saw a need to empanel a larger committee, and that committee is led by chaired by the Honorable Commissioner for Industries, Chief Mrs. Uwoma Olewengwa, and so is a broad-based committee. This committee will now conduct a full-blown investigation into the activities and what goes on there at that company. And as at now, the governor or the government of Abia State has not made any decision. No decision has been made. The governor will wait for this committee, made up of very distinguished Abians, to report back
before taking a decision.
Before any decision, and that is the proper thing.
Well, 5 days ago, the governor had an interactive session with a group of journalists of Abia extraction.
Oh yes,
from across the country, and it was that interaction that led to various statements. First is the fact that he was in Abuja when he got treated. He discovered after a second test that he was COVID-19 positive.
Yeah.
And with the underlying health situation, he had to be treated there.
Yes.
In response to questions as to why he went for treatment outside Abia State. But notably is the issue of underdevelopment in Abia State attributed to the exit, or will I say self-exile of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which generated a lot of reactions on social media, and as such you had even scratched the surface just a little bit, but I begin to wonder, since they're managers of information, how would you react to such information being put out by someone who wasn't probably even part of the meeting? And wasn't there a press release as to the discussions after that Zoom interaction?
The Zoom interaction was aired live, on several internet platforms.
So it was easy for just anybody to.
Yes, it was aired live, and I was there from start to finish.
Okay.
At no time within that period did that issue even come up. At no time did any of the journalists ask that question. At no time did the governor make any reference to any such person. Now, the attitude of Governor Okezi Ikpeazu to issues concerning Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are well known. His attitude is well known. So the government cannot be responding to everything. Any madman that runs out from the bush and writes something, government will respond. That is not what government does. When a journalist called me, I asked him a question. If the governor of Abia State makes a statement, that statement was not reported by his chief press secretary, that statement was not reported by the Honorable Commissioner of Information, that statement was not reported by the chief of staff to the governor, was not reported by any of the commissioners, any of the media aides, do you think that so-called statement is credible? There are established procedures, established channels of communication in government. Every organization, FLO FM, Real FM, they have established channels of communication. Government cannot be responding to everything, because people say things every day. So if as chief press secretary to the governor of Abia State, what I will do every day is to begin to respond to everything any madman says, then I will do no other work. I will not even have time to be in these studios. So the point is this: when you see an information, how do you respond? Where is the information coming from? The attitude, the way Governor Okezi Ikpeazu speaks and the way he has spoken is well known. It is either he speaks directly or he speaks through his accredited officers. At no time did Governor Okezi Ikpeazu make any such statement.
All right, thank you for
that is very
clearing
important.
The air.
Yeah.
And highlights. One of the high points of the week is the election of former Abia State Speaker, House of Assembly Speaker, Right Honorable Orwell Asifo-Okere as the state chairman, and Honorable Obinna Nwachukwu as his deputy.
Yeah.
Is all well?
All is well. All
tell
is
me,
well.
Tell me what you think personally about that state congress, because
you see, the PDP is one happy family in Abia State.
Okay.
And in Abia State here, the PDP is what every other political party wants to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are the ruling party.
Okay.
And we are in charge. If you observed that Congress, you find out that there were no issues. The delegates unanimously elected Right Honorable Orwell Asifo-Okere, a son of Ndoki land in Okwa East local government, as chairman of the party for the next 4 years, and members of the state working committee who will work with him to reposition or continue to strengthen the position of our party for the next 4 years. I mean, there were no issues. Everything went well. The governor was there. The deputy governor was there. All the key delegates, all the key stakeholders who are delegates were there. Even those who are not delegates like myself, but who had reason to be there to bring reports of proceedings to the people of Abia State. We were all there. It was a convivial, it was a congenial atmosphere. It was a family affair, and we want to encourage other political parties in Abia State to come to the PDP and learn how to manage intra-party democracy, the democracy in action. We will be willing to open our doors to our rival parties to come and learn from us how to do some of these things, because they don't know how to do them. They will be fighting. Rival political party, which is practically dead now, it is their inability to manage their state congress, to raise a well-recognized state working committee that led to the collapse of that party, with people jumping through the window, through the door, through the ceiling.
I understand the sarcasm.
Yes, so...
Okay, well, it's executive brief on FLO 94.9 FM, courtesy of the Office of the Chief Press Secretary, who is in the studio with me, Barrister Onyebuchi Ememanka. And of course, we'll be looking at the activities of the governor, who has had a very busy week. Well, COVID-19 is still very much with us. And as such, the state government has deemed it fit to continue to distribute palliatives, and this time through local government areas. During the week, we had 2 days where this distribution went on and on. But the question remains: is this palliative for everyone? It's been described that it's for the vulnerable, but some people are angling for it.
Everybody cannot get it, like the governor said.
But there are going to be more sharing.
Well, we keep watching. As we move ahead, if the governor sees a need to release or instruct the release of more food items, he will. This last one took everybody by surprise. People were not expecting it. Things are returning to normal.
What informed the decision to give it to women groups?
Women are the mothers of the nation. I mean, if your wife gets rice today, you will eat it when you get home. So the children will eat.
So if I get rice, my wife wouldn't eat it.
Well, nobody knows. Some of the rice may disappear on transit from where you got it to your house. But the women will always take it home. And I think women are even the best people to give these things to. I mean, no woman, when they receive these things, they take them home and use them.
What of men without wives?
Well,
what happens to them?
Let them go and marry.
Men without wives seems to be missing here. I really appreciate you for coming through today. But one final event that happened on a lighter note is the constitution of the 8th Assembly of Abia State Traditional Rulers Council.
Absolutely.
And this time, His Royal Majesty EZE Joseph Ndubisi Nwabeke,
yes,
is Amara one of Eziamantea.
EZE Amara.
EZE Amara,
yes.
one of Eziamantea, emerged as chairman.
Yes.
First and foremost, what is the 8th Assembly? What's an assembly of traditional rulers?
The Abia State Council of Traditional Rulers has always been part of the architecture of government.
Okay.
You have a body of traditional rulers, the custodians of the culture of our people, who are there as an advisory body.
Okay.
They advise government on a number of issues, and no government. We are Africans. We are Nigerians. Igbo. We respect our traditional institutions, and right from the onset, governments in this state, we have always had this platform, and the leadership of this council rotates from senatorial zone to senatorial zone.
Oh, really?
Yes. The last one, the chairman of the council, came from Abia South.
Okay.
Before then, we've always had chairmen from different senatorial. No senatorial zone produces 2 consecutive chairmen.
Okay.
It is moved around. So the last one is a Berechi Dick. who just left office, was from Abia South. So it has now come to Abia Central, where His Majesty is a Sir Engineer Joseph Mwabeke is now the chairman. The first vice chairman is His Majesty is a Carlo Obu, the Nachoken of Abreba. And second vice chairman is from Ikuano, Umutowe community. And then there's a third vice chairman from Abia South, from EZE Ugwala from Ubunabo. So it's a broad-based to represent all interests.
Well, I'd like to say congratulations to them and thank you for coming on the program today. Practically out of time, we could have gone on the questions, but we have to bid farewell now. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. You look good today, TC.
Thank you very much.
You look very good. I'm sure that is made in Aba.
Yes, it is. All right, so it's Executive Brief. Join us next week, Friday at 9:30 a.m. My name is Temple Barra. Bye for now.
At FLO 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at FLO FM TV. FLO 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.